So you founded H Equities in the middle.
In the middle. And at first it wasn't even...
Tell me how it was born. Talk to me.
I said, I'm doing deals under my Gmail account. It's not that professional, really. You know, let me figure something else out in a Gmail account, right? No, it was on my Gmail account. That's what it was. I said, I got to start a company. I need a name. Elliot, H Equities. I had my...
Popped up. Okay.
Popped up. I said, I incorporated, I took the LLC name, H Equities, whatever, and I put it into a business. And I said, you know what? I still have a Gmail account. I need an email. I had to look like I had a company. I need an office. I took a tiny office this big, which I still maintain. It's this big, not like your beautiful space here, which I love, by the way. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
A tiny little office. I worked out of my car. I borrowed a car. I did whatever I had to do. And I just kept it going,
Confronting the impossible takes a lot.
I confronted I was all in.
Tell me in this frame right now, this is very critical for me.
Yeah.
You're home equitied in, okay? You got credit cards up the ass. You probably can't probably make rent.
Look, I couldn't make anything. So
how did you continue?
Here's what happened.
What did you do?
I spoke to smart people, smarter than I am, much smarter. I don't think I'm that smart, quite frank. I think I work hard. I'm not sure I'm that smart really, but I know I work hard. I spoke to people who have experience in life. I said, what do I do?
You're over the hill.
I said, no, at this time I was maybe 60. I was just about 50, where you kind of think you're in your mix of your great career.
And you think you're like, oh, this is where I retire, right?
We'll take it easy maybe, right?
And you're not taking it easy at all.
I was about a month away from not being able to pay my mortgage, which never happened in my life, on my house. I pay my own bills till I'm 18 years old. I've never missed a payment ever in my entire life.
So this is besides you.
Now I'm mortgaged up. My house is on the line.
This is real estate.
Which is real estate. This is my real estate game now.
So you're on the top of the nitro ride.
My house is on the line.
You're about to go down.
And one of my dear friends said to me, Elliot, you're not a criminal. You didn't do anything wrong. You're broke. Okay, you're broke. You have no money. Great. You're not a criminal. So I said, I'm not a criminal. So I had to work with people to figure out how to pay my mortgage off. That took a long time to straighten out through the system. But thank God, I was able to borrow some money from some dear friends.
So borrowing.
Been paid back in full.
So you borrowed.
I had no choice. I had to pay bills.
So you borrowed from your future self.
I was tapped out on my future self for my home equity, completely tapped. My credit cards were tapped, completely tapped. And there was no income. And then finally, thank you God, a million times, one deal happened, another deal happened, another deal happened. The bleeding stopped. We started getting cash flow neutral. Because you have to get cash, before you get cash flow positive,
you got to be cash
flow. You got to be neutral. You got to get somewhere as neutral,
How long did the negative last for?
It was a few years. A
few years like 2 or like 5? Or like 10?
It was... not 10. It was really bad for a couple of years, 2 to 3 years. Then it eased up a little bit over a couple of years, and then it got better.
So you're not an overnight success.
I'm an overnight success after working for 40 years, give or take, right? But not an overnight success. And then one deal happened. You know what it is? I don't know. I kind of think that,
Did you want to give up?
I never want... It's easy to want to give up. I would go to the gym. I would try to get to the gym no matter what. I would try to...
With $2 in your bank account.
Not even negative. What $2? $2 would have been a lot. I remember sitting at the kitchen. This is the proverbial kitchen table conversation with my wife, and we're looking at this stack of bills this high, and there was like one bill I missed like 53 cents that was owed or something, whatever it was, right? My wife goes, let's pay that. I go, what are you paying it for? What are you paying? It's a start, And she was it's a start. I go, all right, pay the bill. It was like, it was like 53 cents.
Where was your wife in all of this? And was she a base? Where was God in all of this? Was he a base? Was there a friend here? Was there a base? What? You keep talking about people.
Who's ever listening, listen good. If you're married and you're not on the same page with your wife, the two of you will never get out of your problem unless you're lucky. We were on the same page. My wife went to work. She supported. She made money. She was managing children, managing me, which is a whole production in and of itself, right? And I kind of believe one day, and I pray every morning, I pray every afternoon. You have to believe in the higher power, which I do. And, one day God just looked down and I guess said, I like those two, they're teaching their children values. I think he said, I like her more than I like him potentially, but I like those two.
She was there for you.
She was definitely there. She, you know what? If she's listening, you deserve a medal, right? But if you're married and you're fighting over money and it doesn't work, it just doesn't work. Unless you get lucky, it doesn't work. You have to be on this. You have to cut back. You have to realize the vacation may not be so important. You have to make sure your children. You have to be thankful your children are healthy, that you're healthy. You have to look at those things people always forget when the bills don't stop, and they didn't stop, and they just mounted and mounted and mounted.
So you didn't break. What did you do? You didn't break. You keep saying you didn't give up. How did you pivot? How did you continue?
It just worked out. I don't know. I just kept going, one foot in front of the other.
So you didn't stop.
Resilience. Keep going, one foot in front of the other. Get the next deal done. Figure it out.
You didn't quit.
I didn't quit. You can't. You quit. You're done.
So where was God in all this? You keep talking about God. Where is God in all this?
I speak to him. You pray. You speak to him. God runs the world. You believe it or you don't believe it. You have to do your part. If your part is sitting at home doing nothing, things may not happen. If your part is believing that you're doing something better, if your part is also, when I was going through a lot of financial problems, I was also helping other people with their financial problems.
Tell me about that.
Like I said earlier, I was the chairman of a tuition assistance program where people come with all their problems. And I recognized many of them had far worse problems than I had. They had health issues on top of financial issues. They had marriage issues on top of financial issues. They had child issues on top of financial issues. Compounds the problem. So when you're doing good for others, or trying your best to do good for others, while you may be going through hard times, it definitely helps.
Builds perspective.
A lot of perspective.
The archetype that you used to traverse this terrain was still a soldier? What's the archetype? What's the archetype that you used? What was the persona you put on to get through these times? Warrior, ballerina, astronaut, what was it?
Fake tough guy. I don't know what it was. I used to view myself as I'd walk out of the house every day and there was this big tree and I had this little G.I. Joe axe and I had to chip away at that little tree every day with that little axe, and you just chip away every day. And you take the train and you walk in the snow and you walk in the rain, and you get to the next appointment and you're hot in the summer and you're cold in the winter, and you just do it. And you have to just take 1 foot every day and just 1 foot for the other and just keep doing it with a realistic goal. So it's not a realistic goal to say, okay, I'm broke, I'm going to be worth $3 billion next year. Not really. You may be worth $3 billion at some point in your life. The realistic goal, like for me, was, how do I just stop the bleeding? I got to stop the bleeding.
You build a vision.
Right. And the vision was put deals together, figure it out. And like I said, and lucky for me, I do know a lot of quality people. And I was able to use that network in a good way and build the business around it.
When was H Equities born? What year?
2015, 2016.
How many years was that, or how many months was that after you had your financial hardship? Or was it founded in your financial hardship?
It was in the middle of it.
Tell me about that.
It was in the middle of it. It sort of started to get a little better. So it was before that, I was bouncing around. It was really all over the place. Couldn't make a living. It started getting better, but it was still not good because I still couldn't pay my bills. But there was some income coming in.
Did it hurt your confidence?
I don't think so. No, I don't know.
You were like, fuck it, I'm going to get through it.
Yeah, 100%. I know a lot of rich people, and I'm good for them. They're rich, and if I'm not rich and you're not my friend, I don't really care. I could care less.
So you founded H Equities in the middle.
In the middle, and at first it wasn't even.
Tell me how it was born. Talk to me.
I said I'm doing deals under my Gmail account. It's not that professional, really. Let me figure something else out in a Gmail account, right? No, it was under my Gmail account. That's what it was. I said, I got to start a company. I need a name. Elliot, H Equities. I had my
popped up. Okay.
Popped up. I said, I incorporated. I took the LLC name, H Equities, whatever, and I put it into a business. And I said, you know what? I still have a Gmail account. I need an email. I had to look like I had a company. I need an office. I took a tiny office this big, which I still maintain. It's this big, not like your beautiful space here, which I love, by the way. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
A tiny little office. I worked out of my car. I borrowed a car. I did whatever I had to do, and I just kept it going.
And what were the checkpoints in your professional and business life that said, you know what, I'm doing the right thing, I'm getting it right?
When I spoke to a very smart, sharp, straight shooter of a real estate guy. And I went to his office.
What's his name?
I don't want to embarrass him,
Okay.
but I see him all the time. I still thank him to this day.
Is he a mentor?
He's a mentor in a sense. He gave me straight information.
Is he a hero?
I said, not a hero, but he wasn't my best friend at the time. And I went to him specifically because I needed it. I said, here's my business plan. Here's what I'm doing. What am I doing wrong? He goes, you're not doing anything wrong. All these rich guys out there you're going to do for money, they all want to be me, but they don't want to do the work. You keep doing what you're doing, put the deals together, the money will come. And he was right. And he gave me the confidence to continue. And to this day, 10 years later, every time I see him a lot now, same neighborhood, whatever, I see him, I always like to thank him periodically because he gave me that courage or that confidence to keep going forward.
Did you have kids while you had financial problems?
Sure. I couldn't pay any bills. Couldn't pay anything.
And, well, how did your kids look at that? Did they know about it?
I think when the servers dropped off the paper from Amex, when my daughter said, "Dad, I got something in the mail," I think she figured it out at that point in time. And I think they knew because everyone was going away on vacation and we weren't. And I think they knew because maybe Daddy was yelling too much. But some of them were very little at the time, 2, 4, 6, 8 years old, and some were 10, 12, 14 years old at the time.
Did the anger creep up in those times?
Yeah, it crept up because it's stressful when you can't pay your bills and you're trying your hardest and whatnot. So that,
and did the old you come out?
No, not as much. The old angry me was more in my 20s. Every 10 years, I think I lost a little bit of it, which is fine, I think. Now, like I said, going to 60, hopefully I don't get that angry too often.
Okay.
Maybe once in a while. We're all human, right?
So you keep talking about people. Yeah. I talk to smart people. I think that's a theme in You're Confronting the Impossible. Yeah. Is that you build bridges, you get insight. What's so special about going to those people? Because some people are self-reliant; they don't go to anybody.
Yeah, that's right.
How did you find success in that? How did you find, resilience in that, grit in that? How did you find that?
I felt I needed advice. I felt I needed something that would say, Elliot, try. And I tried a new path. I was actually interviewing for jobs outside of real estate, and I found I have no skills. Like I can't go sell, widgets to Walmart. I just wouldn't have worked, So I had no choice really but to dig down and speak to people who I knew would give me not what I want to hear, but what I needed to hear. And sometimes people don't want to hear what they need to. Yeah, here's what you're doing wrong. Here's what you're doing right. Sometimes people don't want to hear that. They just don't want to hear it. So
you're malleable in that regard.
I had no choice. I had to be. I couldn't be rigid, and I was so smart. If I was so smart, I wouldn't be in this predicament. Potentially, you don't really know, right? So even smart people get into predicaments, right?
Right, but at some point you skated out of that.
I skated out,
right?
Yeah,
right. And you really built a foundation, okay? And the foundation was not definitely based on successes. It was like based on failures.
It was based on failure. 100%. Confronting the impossible. It was based on failure. One failure, another failure, another failure, little success, little success, little success, more success. The right people in my life. I do keep saying it,
You do keep
I have the right people in my life. I just do.
So what is your business?
So we have a debt and an equity business for commercial real estate. We provide capital. On the equity side, we invest in mostly multifamily apartment buildings in a variety of states and medical office properties. That's for the most part. It's going to change a little bit. Those are in New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, North Carolina, Philadelphia. We're buying something now in Oklahoma.
So it's national.
National. Now, it used to be only Brooklyn. When I first started, it was only Brooklyn and only northern Brooklyn.
How did you expand it? Did you have to expand something in your mind?
In my mind for sure, because I wanted to be very focused in Brooklyn because I live in Brooklyn. I know every block. I could be there in 10 minutes. But over time, I realized if I'm too tied up to one neighborhood, too tied up to one location, what if something changes? And it did change, right? So Brooklyn became Manhattan, which is, then became the Bronx, then became New Jersey. Then I found in Atlanta. So it just worked out where I was able to provide capital in other states with quality people, going back to the people, right? And that's the equity business. In the debt business, we provide bridge financing. We provide senior mortgages, preferred equity, mezzanine financing, quality sponsors. We look for good people, good sponsors with good business plans and good locations. And also, that was also a Brooklyn-based business for a long time. And I recognized we had to expand out. So I was able to figure out a way through taking it one step at a time. How do I expand out slowly? We did. And now we're sort of national.
What is the assets under management of your organization? Or at the very least, how much money do you spring in and out of, I guess, the account on a yearly basis, just to get a size of what you manage and what you execute on a yearly basis?
This year we closed 30 and 5, $45 million of loans, give or take, which
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of
a lot
money.
of money. I'm sitting at home putting deals together the old-fashioned way. My partners are in their office. We bought 3-4 properties. Another $8 million went to work in that.
Okay. And you see how the market operates as well.
Correct. One of the advantage points I have is I have a lot of inbound calls. I sift through hundreds and hundreds of opportunities with myself, my partners, hundreds of opportunities to get 5 things done a year, 6 things. You'll make 3 loans, buy 3 properties, make 4 loans, buy 2 properties. It's not a volume business. It's a very opportunistic, intentionally opportunistic, bit by bit by bit.
And how have you grown from the first trauma to the second trauma to the third? How do you, what stayed constant? What had changed?
Hopefully I'm a little calmer, hopefully. I think I am. I hope I don't really yell as much as I used to,
Good.
which is great. I get aggravated plenty, I get stressed and aggravated plenty, which I'm a work in progress. So hopefully before I'm 120, I'll figure that one out.
Hopefully.
Hopefully I'll figure that one out. But I always believe that tomorrow's another day, and you'll have a setback today. Tomorrow you'll figure it out.